Hi, this is Shui with a review of the Asian Gill restomod. Restomod is a word they use in Adidas, combine the word restored and modified. So sort of like Adidas's version of Protro is instead of a retro, they're trying to make it more, upgraded, forward, more pro to be found in the shoe. Protro. Don't really like the term Protro. Don't really fancy the term restomod. Uh, But anyway, if this is indeed a restored and modified version of it, it's restored, but it's definitely not modified to a certain extent, especially considering the tech they put inside the shoe. I feel the bounce used in the Restomod version of the T-Mac, which was one of the latest version, was the one worn by LeBron James in high school, the St. Vincent St. Mary edition, the green colored one. That had a better cushioning upgrade than this one. It's got boost inside this EVA or injected Phylon midsole casing, but you really don't really feel that much of it. Initially, when they had boost in the crazy light boost, I think it was 2014 or 15, they had like this minuscule. I mean, it was visible, but it was not enough to let you feel what boost can do, because the midsole was so hard and there's just minimal boost in the heel and nothing on the forefoot. The forefoot was rock hard. The heel was basically just barely enough to absorb some shock and then see that I've got some boost in there. Same for Rose 5, they put like boost all around, but it didn't really feel a lot except for a slight compression in the heel. Rose 6 had somewhat more boost, but you can see how much more boost was put in there just to let you feel a little bit more of this awareness of the fact that you had boost in the forefoot instead of heel. The Harden 3 is a prime example. They use thinner boost. You can feel a little bit in the heel, but it's very minimal. On the forefoot, you barely feel that boost unless you use a really thick insole. Speaking of which, for this shoe, I guess it's kind of living up to its name of being a retro. The Adidas shoes in the late 90s and the leading up to the 2010s, they've always had like really low to the ground, rock hard midsole. And they used the insole, which was a pretty thick PU insole that provided about 40-45% of the cushioning. So this is kind of similar. They got a cute little insole that says Boost, and it's got that Gilbert Arenas face as he was shooting the commercial for the with the Hibachi concept. It's super thick. It's not even PU, it's EVA, but thick. And if you remember the Damian Lillard ones, when I first put on the shoe, I thought it was, oh my god, this is so soft. I guess Adiprene is more than enough to provide adequate cushioning. But once I wore the shoe a little bit and the insole compressed, I realized there's really not much going on in the shoe. And the insole was sort of like this, getting the job done and duping you into thinking that this is a very well cushioned shoe. So if you remove the insole of the Asian Gill Restomod and try it, there's hardly any boost you can feel, just like the boost that's put in the Superstar Boost or the Stan Smith boost had it. It's the Superstar Boost. They claim to have boost inside. You can see there's boost from the outsole, but you don't really feel much of it in the Superstar Boost. That's the kind of boost you have here. It's got the 4Motion pods. But 4Motion should not be in the forefoot, in my opinion. The concept is that these little pods with rubber and plastic kind of provides a level of resistance. So when you're hitting certain parts, it's actually flexing a little bit to let the weight distribution slide out a little bit. So the sliding action lets the outsole move and cover more surface area, and at the same time it kind of moves a little bit to disperse the shock disperse the impact, or kind of also as this jiggles back and forth, it provides a kind of a forward motion, 4Motion. That was the concept of it. It works better on the heel of the shoes, as you see in some of the equipment or other Adidas shoes. The 4Motion works great on the heel once you're stepping and you feel this compressing, not just entirely, but it's compressing and kind of moving you forward as it kind of this jelly-like part slides a little bit. That's the concept, and this does not provide a great deal of cushioning. It just provides a level of security in terms of covering more area. But as you can tell, these little pods, if you remember, if you have midsole plates or materials that's harder, that is combined with the soft midsole, you'll see that once the midsole wear out, the plastic part protrudes out and separates from the softer, decaying, decomposing foam material. So this is that much smaller, and at the same time, there's a lot more action going on. If you try the original T-Max 6, which had the 4 motions, or the Gill 0, you will find that this is the first one to split from the shoe or wear out, because they're like oil and water, not meant to stay together, especially upon a lot of impact and side to side or various multi-direction movements. For size 9, it weighs 432 grams. It's as heavy as the Adidas shoe, if not more. It's pretty heavy feeling shoe, especially if you wear it in the 21st century, in the year 2020. Year 2022. Oh my god. Yeah, there's really hardly a lot of any compliment that I can sprinkle into this shoe, except that it's a good nostalgic piece to the Gilbert Arenas signature. Yeah, the outsole has pretty good traction. Yeah, that's what Adidas used to be known for until I think it was until 2014-15. That's when things started to go south, and Adidas suddenly stopped caring about providing good traction. Adidas traction has been pretty rancid from there on until today. I think one of the few saving graces they had was a Dame 8, which has some decent traction, that tried to go back to the late 20th century, early 21st century Adidas traction. A great thing about this shoe is that, do you see this friggin' outrigger? And it's covering from the close to the heel and the midfoot area all the way to the near your toe area. So this outrigger is awesome. They should have more outriggers like this in shoes. Already the shoe itself is pretty low to the ground, but with this outrigger, it is awesome. Other shoe designs should take a note from this oldie from 2007 or 2006. So it fits somewhat true to size, but interestingly, it's the not the lateral side, but the medial side, which on the toe area, it cuts a little bit sharp here. So you might feel that you won't have that wriggle room, or you might feel a bit of an abrasiveness here. So if you have really big toes, if you try the shoe on to see if you need to go up a few sizes. The pinky toe area is not pinching that much, so unless you have big toe, big toe, then the size should be okay going through the size. Or if this is not a performance shoe, in my opinion, so if you want to wear this for casual wear, you should go up half a size just to be safe. I mean, if you have really narrow foot, you can go through the size. The upper material is this cross-woven knit kind of material. It's pretty soft and relatively more breathable than kind of a TPU plastic patent leather kind of thing that you've had in the Gill 2 Zeros. But there's a little inner booty, so it's not crazy stuffy, but it's not that breathable either. So minimal breathability, not that great. Yeah, the heel cup, interestingly, it cuts at a very nice little steep angular fashion here, so it clutches your heel nicely. The original Gill Zeros, apparently a lot of people had problems with the heel slippage, but there's one restomod they did for Adidas. Good heel cup, heel counter containment. But these little parts, I mean, it's not crazy annoying, but depending on the shape of your foot and your Achilles and your heel, this could pinch a little bit, so make sure you lace it up and try it for yourself. Yeah, the boost, it's there, but it's kind of like the 2014 Crazy Light boost, which is, I don't know, pretty close to a decade old. Do you really want to go back to that shoe where you can see the boost, but you don't really feel it? The insole takes up 40-45% of the cushioning, so don't be fooled by the insole.